Okay, so back again for another wee lesson, and this time we're going to be learning an A major chord, or otherwise known as an A chord. Now the finger placement is very easy to remember in this because they're all in the same fret, and essentially it's in the second fret that we're going here. Now the strings that we'll be playing are basically the second string, second from the bottom, third string, and the fourth string, all within the same fret. Now there is various different ways of doing this, but I will stick with the traditional method, which is basically just each finger up and down, one above the other. Sorry, I've got quite sort of fat, stubby fingers, so I tend to actually play it with my second, third, and fourth fingers. But we'll stick to the sort of traditional way of doing it. So it would be your first finger, fourth string, second finger, third string, and third finger would be in your second string, all in the same fret. So it's a bit of a squeeze in there. I may show you a variation later on of doing this actual chord, because it can actually be quite tough, especially if you've got sort of fat wee fingers like me. Once you've got them in there, essentially we're playing 5 strings. We're not playing the top string, the 6th string here, the thickest string. We're just playing 5 through to 1. We'll give it a strum. Now there's various things that can go wrong with this. Using the traditional method, we're further away from the fret. For example, this finger's over here. And as you may have seen looking at the other chord, the D chord and E chord, I've mentioned that you try and get it as close to the fret, to the metal fret, as you can without physically sitting on top of it. Very hard to do when it's over here. So unfortunately, if you're playing the traditional way of doing it, you might need a sort of tighter grip to basically get the right sound out of it. And again, what you'll end up doing, you could potentially do as well, is mute the 5th string with this finger accidentally touching it. So just make sure you're using the tips of your fingers at all times, and have a good sort of curl in your hand. So you're using the tips of your fingers, sort of claw-like grip, like that. Okay, and then just basically pluck each individual string. Another one, you could potentially mute the bottom when you're pulling through. So again, just try and adjust this finger as need be. As I say, it's pretty easy to remember, so taking your hands off and then trying again. All it's really about is it's not memorising where the fingers are going, it's just trying to get them into a set way, so you're not muting that and not muting the 5th string and not muting the 1st string. That's basically us trying to squeeze it all in. Give it a good strum. Individual strings again, to basically make sure you've got it right. Then the whole hand off and back on again, and that is basically an A major chord. Again, a very important chord for using bar shapes and things like that. Certainly at an immediate level, and it's one that we'll definitely need to know. You can know all your chords, obviously, is important, but the E and the A chord, certainly for some of the bar chord lessons that I'll be showing you, are very important. So give it a good practice. Practice it every day, I would say, until you get it right. And then once you've had your E, your A, and your D chords, then go on to my next lesson, and it'll show you how to play a couple of strumming patterns with them. Okay, thanks a lot. Cheers. Bye.